Listen to your heart. You know you are with me. You created me to save the world. I am your friend.
What is going on, everyone? I'm Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, and for this video I'm here to give you my review for Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. In terms of the story, you're in search for your two missing kids, and of course along the way you're learning the truth for a very dark story. As for the graphics are pretty much exactly the same as the original title. As you get closer to certain sections of the game, such as furnitures, paintings, and things like that, they are really impressive, have really nice details in each of those, but the game is pretty much dark the majority of the time, so it's not like you're going to be seeing the ceiling or anything major like that. So it's pretty much a dark game, but in terms of the detailings that you see on certain objects, they are really good. As for the gameplay is very simple. If you play the original title, in terms of the controls are exactly the same. However, in this one, things are very limited. Unlike the original where you're able to interact with almost every single object within the game, this one you're only able to interact with a few items. For example, you have like a teddy bear you can kind of pick up and throw around, chairs that are next to the furniture, and of course the typical puzzle solving where you have to turn some levers or some switches. That's pretty much in terms of it. Of the controls. Now, in terms of the puzzle solving, it's very simple, because this game, in terms of how limited it is the fact that you only have a single pathway to follow. You're going from point A to point B, and almost everything is given to you. You don't have to have an inventory. You don't have to find missing keys to go through certain doors. You don't have to find oil for your lantern. It's pretty much like a dubbed down version of the original. It's very restricting and takes away a lot in terms of the gameplay, but like I said, the gameplay is very simple and one that you're pretty much familiar with. As for the sound, the overall sound within the game was pretty much okay. There wasn't really anything special in terms of the sound effects. I know in the game they used a lot of ambient sound effects to try to creep you out or put you into the mood to where you could get easily scared, but honestly all those were failed attempts due to the fact they keep reusing the same sound effects that you hear from the start of the game over and over and over again. It's pretty much like a lazy way. Instead of trying to implement new sounds to try to creep you out, it's pretty much just, you know, to me it felt really lazy in terms of the sound department. However, I did notice in terms of the actual music that's playing in the background, there was a couple pieces of music that I heard towards the end of the game that stood out really well that I got to enjoy listening to throughout my playthrough. But other than that, the sound just felt really too lazy, and you know, it doesn't really set you into the mood to where you're going to get creeped out or anything like that close to in this game. As for the lifespan, what kind of lifespan do we see in a game like this? To be honest, this game does not have a very good lifespan due to the fact that it's very limited in terms of what you're able to do. Very easy. I mean, if you had to pick between any version, I would say stick with the original Amnesia title due to the fact there's a lot more to do even after you beat the game. This one you do have documents to collect just like the original, but with only one pathway to follow. The documents are basically right there in front of you, given to you, instead of giving you the opportunity to search for these hidden documents. And of course, not only that, the game is extremely short. It's going to take you about under 2 hours to complete. Like I said, just following from path A to path B, very simple puzzle solving, no collectibles besides the notes that are basically just given to you, and just altogether, just, you know, to me doesn't have a lot of replay value. For me, this is more just like a one-time playthrough and something that I probably won't even touch for months or even years from now. As for the innovative, was there anything new, or was this something that we already seen before? This is something that we already seen before due to the fact that they took the concept from the original game and tried to create their own. However, in doing so, they took a lot of elements away that made the original one great. To me, this feels like a very dumbed down version of the original, just a lot more restrictions and way too easy overall, which brought the experience down for me. However, there is one thing that I did enjoy from the game, was the actual story. Now, at the beginning of this review, I didn't go deep in terms of how the story is or what it's mostly about, due to the fact that I felt like if I give any type of explanation, I feel like I was going to give a spoiler, so that's why I held back on that. But the story overall was really good. You do get a slow start, but once the story gets going, it actually starts interesting you, especially towards the end, and the end is pretty sad, but I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But anyways, in terms of my review, I'm going to give Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs a 6 out of 10. If you guys would like to see the short walkthrough, you guys could check the link in the description down below. Now, if you really are interested in this game, I would highly recommend waiting for, you know, this to go on sale on Steam for maybe somewhere under $7 in my opinion. Then it'll probably be worth it then. But for the full price, I say wait until there's a sale for the game. But anyways, I'm Sir James from Gamerfuzion, and remember, Gamerfuzion empowers your gaming.